Okay, so today we are doing reading like a historian. Historians use paintings like the detail of the Japanese folder screen from the 1700s on the next page to help understand the past. As you study the world history, you too will learn how to use different historical sources to read like a historian. What does it mean to read like a historian? In your history class, you will be doing a lot of reading, thinking, and problem solving. Much of your reading and thinking will center on different types of texts and or materials. Since you are in a history class reading all sorts of things, the question to consider is, what does it mean to think, read, and solve problems like a historian? Historians work with different types of sources to understand and learn from history. Two categories of sources are primary and secondary sources. Primary sources are historical documents, written accounts by a firsthand witness, or objects that have survived from the past. A study of primary sources might include letters, government documents, diaries, photographs, art objects, stamps, coins, and even clothing. Secondary sources are accounts of the past events created by people, sometimes after the events have happened. This textbook and other books written about historical events are examples of secondary sources. As you learn more about your work as a historian, you will begin to ask questions and analyze historical material. You will be working as a detective, digging into history to create a richer understanding of the mysteries of the past. How to analyze written sources. Asking questions can help you determine the relevance and importance of primary sources such as the Magna Carta, a document signed by King John of England in 1215 that limited the king's power. As you read the primary source above and the primary and secondary sources included in the textbooks, ask yourself questions like the ones below. Who created the source and why? Did the writer have firsthand knowledge of the event or report what others saw or heard? Was the writer a neutral party, or did the author have opinions or interests that might have influenced what was recorded? Did the writer wish to inform or persuade others? Was the information recorded during the event, immediately after the event, or after some lapse of time? When reading secondary sources, such as the description of Timbuktu above, historians ask additional questions to seek understanding. They try to source the text, build evidence, and interpret the message that is being conveyed. For historians, reading is a quest to find evidence to answer or challenge a historical problem. As you study secondary sources, ask questions like the ones below. Who is the author? What do I know about the author? Did the author have firsthand information? What is the author's relationship to the event? What might be the author's motivation in writing this piece? What types of evidence did the author look at? Are any assumptions or bias present? How does the document fit into larger context of the event I am studying? What kind of source is it? Is the source an original? Is the content probable or reasonable? What does the date tell me about the event? What do I already know about the topic that will help me understand more of what I'm reading? How to analyze an artifact. Artifacts such as the mask of Aztec god take many forms. They might be coins, stone tools, pieces of clothing, or even items found in your backpack. As you study artifacts in this textbook, ask yourself questions like the ones below. Why was the object created? When and where would it have been used? Who used the artifact? What does the artifact tell me about the technology available at the time it was created? What can it tell me about the life and times of the people who used it? How does the artifact help to make sense of the time period. How to analyze historical maps. Maps are symbolic representations of places shown in relationship to one another. The map above was created around 1375 in Spain and shows part of North Africa. All maps necessarily include some details and leave out others. As you study maps in this textbook, ask questions like the ones below. When and where was the map produced? What details has the map maker chosen to include or exclude on the map? Why was the map drawn? How can I determine if the map is accurate? How are maps used to analyze the past, present, and future? How to analyze art. Art, like the tapestry above, which was created in the 1500s in France, is another important source of for historians. One way to study a piece of art is to write down everything that you think is important about it. Then divide the image into 4 sections and describe the important elements from each section. As you study art in this textbook, ask your questions like the ones below. What is the setting for the art? When and where in the past was the art created? What is the subject of the art? What other details can I observe? What does the art reveal about its subject? How can I describe the artist's points of view? How to analyze infographics. Infographics give you information in a visual format, using captions and call-out boxes to help explain the intent of the drawing. As you study infographics in this textbook, use the helpful tips and questions below. List the parts of the drawing and the importance of each part. Describe and the focus or significance of the drawing. Do the captions and call-out boxes clarify the drawing's purpose? Does the drawing help me understand the information that I am studying in the textbook better?